Picture the ultimate final stand, 300 Spartans holding the line against the massive Persian Empire at the Battle of Thermopylae. We tend to view these soldiers as natural-born supermen. In reality, they were the manufactured products of a highly engineered, deeply brutal social system. In the 9th century BC, you won't find an army of super soldiers. You find a chaotic, fractured society tearing itself apart through extreme wealth inequality and lawlessness. To survive, the Spartans scrapped standard civilization altogether. They designed an artificial, radically new type of warrior state from the ground up. The architect of this society was a semi-mythical lawgiver named Lycurgus. After consulting the Oracle of Delphi, he initiated a complete reset of Spartan law. He set out to reprogram human behavior, optimizing every single aspect of daily life for absolute state loyalty and military dominance above all else. The result was a rigid, interlocking social machine consisting of strict class hierarchies, extreme education pipelines, and intentional political gridlock. To understand how this legendary empire functioned, we have to pop the hood and dismantle the gears running the machine. A society made entirely of full-time soldiers faces an immediate economic problem. Who farms the food and forges the weapons? The Spartan solution was the mass subjugation of a local population called the Helots. This proportional scale chart shows the terrifying demographic reality of that choice. The enslaved Helot population vastly outnumbered the tiny fraction of full Spartan citizens. Meanwhile, a class of free non-citizens called the perioikoi handled all trade, commerce, and manufacturing. Spartans were legally barred from doing any of it. Living vastly outnumbered by a subjugated population created chronic paranoia. To maintain control, Spartan leaders ritually declared war on their own slaves every single year, making it completely legal to terrorize and kill them. The legendary Spartan military was built primarily as a heavily armed internal police force to suppress slave rebellions, rather than an army of foreign conquest. Staffing that police force required a human assembly line known as the Agoge. At age 7, boys were removed from their families to begin state-run indoctrination. The state subjected them to brutal physical conditioning, chronic starvation, and institutionalized thievery. If they were caught stealing, they were beaten, not for the theft, but for getting caught. The entire process systematically broke down individuality. The final test for the most elite youths was entry into the Krypteia, a secret police. To graduate, these young men were sent into the countryside to hunt and murder vulnerable Helots. Women went through their own unique pipeline. Spartan women received formal education, controlled significant wealth, and participated in athletic training. This empowerment served a strict utilitarian motive. The state granted these rights to ensure women were physically capable of breeding stronger, healthier soldiers. The Agoge successfully stripped away human empathy, producing perfectly compliant, fearless cogs for the state. To keep this society running without any dangerous deviations, Lycurgus designed a hyper-conservative political system built on extreme checks and balances. This flowchart illustrates the power structure. At the top sits a dual monarchy, featuring 2 kings from different families who act as constant blocks against each other's executive decisions. Below them sits the Gerousia, a council of 28 elders, and the Apella, a citizen assembly that voted to approve or deny laws by literally shouting as loud as they could. The real control belonged to the Ephoret, a group of 5 overseers possessing immense executive authority. They managed the educational pipeline, directed foreign policy, and even had the legal power to arrest a sitting king. This severe political gridlock was a carefully engineered feature. It ensured the Spartan operating system remained absolutely inflexible to new ideas. For a time, the machine worked flawlessly. Sparta enjoyed centuries of military hegemony and secured a decisive victory over Athens in the Peloponnesian War. But that absolute inflexibility made it mathematically impossible to sustain a standing army long-term. Maintaining full citizenship required passing the Agoge and paying high monthly dues to the communal mess halls. As wealth slowly concentrated at the top, fewer and fewer Spartan men could afford to pay, instantly losing their citizen status and their place in the army. This sharply declining line graph tracks the catastrophic result. The Spartan citizen population plummets from a peak of 9,000 down to fewer than 700. Battle deaths simply could not be replaced under these strict rules. The physical collapse quickly followed. A massive Helot revolt broke out. The rival city-state of Thebes crushed the dwindling Spartan forces at the Battle of Leuctra, and the machines seized up forever. The exact rules designed to make the Spartan Empire invincible directly engineered its extinction. The Western world has long engaged in lachanophilia, an enduring, romanticized obsession with the myth of Spartan bravery and freedom. The historical reality reveals a dystopian, terror-driven state built on mass slavery that actively suppressed human culture. Sparta remains a masterclass in how rigid, uncompromising systems ultimately engineer their own destruction.